Are you going to unlock more than 9 tiles? Well, as it turns out, I actually do have that mod installed now. Boom. 25 spaces installed. And I'm going to go with the unlock all. So we start with everything unlocked from the start, which will also start us off with about 700,000. But the reason for that is we are going to need it because we are going to need to build hospitals and fire stations and everything right away. So that's going to be okay. Plus, then you've got all the roads unlocked and all that kind of jazz. Is it possible to add wind? I don't think so. Don't forget to turn off left side traffic. Pretty sure it just is. I don't think it's on. Is it? No. We're on right-hand drive. So we're okay. Alright, so... you can't see it here, but you saw from the little pop-up there. Look at all the area unlocks. So this is all the mod does, is it gives you this. When you reach the Megalopolis level, when you normally get your 9th tile, it actually gives you the ability to get 25 tiles. The unlock all just means that we have 0 population requirement to get there. And all the building types are unlocked. So, I guess we build. And yeah, I don't know what the correct scale is. You can adjust the scale when you do the output. This is kind of annoying me. We're going to have to do a little bit of a smooth right in there on our next map take. Fuck it, let's do it now, actually, because otherwise it's going to drive me crazy for the entirety of my entire life. The entirety of my entirety. Super serial, you guys. So this is why I didn't want to do map editing on screen before, because it's like, I'm going to spend 100,000 years doing something that's going to end up looking shitty anyway. Bigger brush, less strength. And not that big. Just smoothing out the ocean floor, don't mind me. La la la. Smooth a lot of this edge, actually, maybe. Thought I'd... Well, I mean, some of it I don't need smooth, but a little smoother than this would be good. And then here, yeah, there's a little bit of that going on there, too. We got to make sure that we don't accidentally cut off the water. Smooth that little peak out. Well, there. We're good here. Just make sure the little areas where we go in and out of the water don't look derped. What I should have done is reset my entire map so that the floor of the ocean, like the floor of the, yeah, the floor of the ocean was literally at height 0. And then I would have been able to dependably get all my little canals and stuff to end up at exactly the same height as everything else. There's a little bit more of a derp area in there. I don't even know if you guys can see it on stream, but it's there. All right. Okay. This time for reals, yo. Should have done London. It only has 1 river. Yeah. And we could have come up with something that looks probably... Well, even with London, like, the problem is London's just going to be a big flat area with 1 river. Suitable area for building, 23%. Which is one of the reasons on this map it's really important to have all 25 areas. Because it's actually not going to stress the system that much, because as it turns out, these 25 areas aren't going to give you that much space to work with. Okay. So I think what we'll do, and we'll keep it paused, and we'll just try to, like, draw some streets that go right up along the water's edge. We'll even, like, we'll get rid of the starting bit later on. Oh, I don't have unlimited money. I shouldn't do the tree-lined one. You know what? The ones on the beach are going to be tree-lined. Hopefully, the waves don't tsunami their way up to these houses. And then we sort of run out of real estate here. We're going to expand that way later. And same thing here. We'll probably get rid of that little bit and then reconnect up. I'm going to start another one over here. I don't want to buy the other regions yet because I don't have unlimited money. You start with a bunch more because every time you complete a milestone, you get a cash reward. But it's going to go surprisingly fast because we're going to need all the services right from the start. Okay, something like that. And we know we're going to want some stuff there, but we'll wait on that. So, do we just grid it up in the middle? Now, this is the small street. We might want some major streets. I don't want to do a highway-centric thing, though, like before. We could go with a bunch of avenues, though, in the middle. Or more one-ways. Actually, probably more one-ways is a really smart thing. Do I want to get on a regular grid, or do I want to use these as a guide and sort of just keep coming up with some sort of loose kind of things? What do we think? We could use more roundabouts. I mean, I don't think Venice is especially known for its roundabout. I love, like, there's going to be some interesting houses here. I don't know how they're, when they pop in, I don't know if they're going to level terrain and what it's going to look like, but it's going to be kind of cool. Like, what kind of strategy? Like, last time, someone said, I want elevated highways. And, like, elevated highways. That's the entire road theme of our last game. Loose grid. Make it look pretty. Yeah, which is sort of going to be the goal. Bad at that. Should I just, like, plop down a couple arbitrary roundabouts? And then be like, alright, we're going to build around this now. Now, some people... Oh, there you go. There's a small roundabout. Some people have made some even more compact roundabouts. Build the highways on the canals. Yeah, I don't know the canal layout, and it'd be too much. Fractals, triangles. Be as dense as possible. Well, the thing is, given the little amount of real estate we have, we actually are going to need to go with something relatively dense in the end. Loose and walkways. Ooh, walkways. Only one-ways is an idea. Now, right now, the beach here is not a one-way. But internally, we could go with the one-way grid as much as possible. Now, with only one-ways, it works a lot better if you're on a strict grid because it kind of makes you be able to track what the fuck is going on a lot better. What if we do something like this? All right, this is going to be kind of crazy just to start off with. But I'm going to go directly from the highway onto a one-way. And I'm not going to do the thing where you build two parallel one-ways right down the middle as a main avenue. Right away, I'm going to do something nuts. This is going to be totally... Like, do not do this. Don't try this at home. And I want to try to avoid overlapping. If we pull in something like this, end up with something like this. And this is like what a lot of our layout is going to be based on. Just this very random. Like that. There we go. So, right now, this is all a one-way. Goes all the way around like this and like this. So now we've got like sort of a pattern of one-way to work with. So now I can do a counter-flowing one-way, say from here. And I'm not using the 3 lanes or anything like that. And in the last set of videos, it was like, oh, I'm not sold on the 3 lanes being good. I'm not, you know... I think that with the different layout than what I was going with in the last city, I think that all 3 lanes, or 6 lanes rather, I should say, actually can work very well. A lot of other people have put them to really, really good use. However, I think for the look of sort of Venice, I think it would be a poor thing. I think a lot of, like, narrow roads. So we've got one counterflow this way, and then we can do another counterflowing one way over here. I have no idea how this is going to end up. We're going to put down some things. It's like a lot of old cities sort of had these historical roads that were just cart paths and this and that. It sort of just informed the rest of the design. Like, historically, there was a road here, so there were buildings here. Well, we can't just tear down the buildings. So I guess we're building the entire city around this sort of stuff. Actually, I suppose I could connect these up. I was just going to have them stop, but... So, this is, like, just kind of a ring road that goes the other way. This is different than what I was picturing. But it doesn't not work. You know, it looks it looks sloppy. And I would like to smooth this out, maybe. It's like I'm trying to go intentionally loosey-goosey. But is it too sloppy here? I think this stretch, at least, looks like crap. So we have to remember what direction we're going in, which for these is clockwise. There we are. And then build a grid inside of this, which could be one ways. A little closer. Actually, I'll use an actual straight road on these, so at least we get... Ooh, invalid shape. So this is going north, yeah. I do want to pull this one down this way. Alright, that's working. If we had the wall-to-wall buildings, I don't actually know the right term for it. But Marina, the CEO of Colossal Order, talked about wanting this sort of thing. If I do this, I can't really get them properly wall-to-wall, or clustered in here, just because of where the snap point is. I guess we'll do that. But the European buildings that are literally like just squished together with no gaps. Hopefully we're going to get that at some point. We don't have it right now, but it would look really good in something like this. So I may be overbuilding, although I have a lot of money right now. Yeah, these snap points are not exactly where I want it. I mean, I could just stop making the straight roads. Just because of where I have some of these joints. Alright, a few gaps. Okay, we'll fill the gaps with trees, it's fine. And then let's do one that goes a little differently. And if I can get higher density if I actually build straight. At the risk of sometimes looking boring, we can do that. So then we can figure out what we want to do with this space over here. Turn snapping off may have solved it. You're right, actually. Now, obviously, we're also going to have to connect some other stuff over here. So, oh, we can just connect it through. Let's end up with some bends like this. Now, so they're not quite straight. You know, want it like this? Maybe like that is fine. Here, I want a curved one here. Actually, this one doesn't have to connect to anything anymore. Or this one doesn't. You know, we don't actually need a connector on every one. We got to make sure that the directions feed back and forth. Do something like this. Minimize the intersection on the out of road. I think what I'm going to do is zone from this, see how it feels. And then keep filling in. Oh yeah, we've got the road on the outside, which looks beautiful. Maybe we don't want to build... Maybe we want to leave the area here. You know, we have our dense city center, green spaces, and then some cool housing on the outside ring. Let's make just a 2-lane road. I think this deserves to have an angle on it. Like that. And like this. Oh, we're gonna have to give people the ability to stay in the city here. I want to come off on the curve. And then... I didn't want a straight line here. There we go, that's not too bad. Hopefully it doesn't generate too much traffic. Well, we'll see. I mean, I don't think traffic's going to be inappropriate completely. So train station here, most of those just be like for arrivals to the city. I don't think this rail is going to continue through. Let's see what this ends up feeling like, you know? Get a vibe for it. Low density housing? Mostly. There's going to be some high density in the middle. Tell you what. Let's grab the marquee tool and just go like high density housing. And then we'll go and replace some bits with not. Specifically on the shore, we want not high density. Shoop, like that. Let's get rid of the zoning on this street here. You know, we're taking the very Bob Ross kind of school of design. We're just making some happy little roads. Just some happy little roads with some happy little houses. I mean, the risk here might be a little bit of overzoning. It is going to take a while for people to come into the town. I hope there's not some sort of like really fucked up behavior that happens because we're zoning way too much ahead of time. Because there's a maximum rate at which people will move in. This could be bad. And you can't control where they move in, so they might go and do something crazy like force you to run power lines in really awkward places. Which sounds like a medical problem or something. Let's D-zone here at the front. I don't want anything on the other side of my little turnaround mode. And I also want to try to minimize any traffic on it, because I think it's going to be a pretty important thing. This city's going to have awesome traffic problems. It's going to be epic. It's going to be so good. Shopping districts. We'll use some low density so that the noise isn't quite as bad. So I'm going to grab that off and then paint it back in, maybe starting with over here. Obviously, we're going to need some industry, too, and I don't know what I want to do about that. Because the problem is I can't go straight into offices, because offices require fairly educated people. Which we're not going to have at first. So what do we want to do? I don't know. It's too bad I can't drag the paint bucket version of this. Know what I mean? So, what we can do is bridge across, well, if I wanted to buy another area, and I guess eventually I do, is I could put an industrial area over here. It would ruin the view here. Maybe this is not beachfront anymore. Maybe the beachfront is here, and here we have an industrial area. We're going to need a basic low-level industrial area to start off with. Hey, Smoke Jones, thanks for the sub. Although, buying this area, well, we can eventually buy everything. We have the mod. Have farms in the corner. Oh, right! Because this is all fertile land. Let's start with farms. They might not stick around. But let's get the farms started. Because they don't pollute. This is all fertile land over here. Right there, Butler Park. So it won't add a bunch of ground pollution, and then we can get rid of it later on. Good, good, good. So let's just drop down some straight lines. Because obviously it's not going to work on our grid. But we can get our city kick-started with some farmland. Like that. So we're going to force all the farm trucks to keep going that way, so they don't add traffic to my city itself. I don't like focusing. It's going to be a crazy bottleneck over here of all the farm vehicles coming in and out. Although, less of a bottleneck here if what we do, and we might just, we're going to create, this is going to be such epic traffic. Oh, it's going to be great. Cargo terminal. Might be a bit early for it, but we're going to be okay. Power. So we know that the most efficient stuff is wind. Oh. Oh! As I said, we didn't put any wind zones. Is that something we had to do? Apparently not. And like, wind farm of awesome over here. Let's do that. We need quite a bit of power. We're going to go bankrupt. I'm pre-building a fair bit because I know we're going to need it. And then, yeah. We'll run it over here, but Let's get a couple of parks down just to help provide, I think, plazas. Ooh, picnic tables. That's not stylish enough. Playgrounds. Here, we'll use paradox plazas everywhere. Here. Here. It'll actually help spread some power, and we'll figure it out. See? And then we'll just keep putting parks in different places and rezoning, dezoning things. Parks will help raise land value. We'll run some power lines because they're a bit cheaper. We will need services, so let's get an incinerator going. Way out here. Yeah, that's not very reach. Doesn't reach everything fairly well. No, we'll put it over here. Or maybe at the entrance of town. How are you going to get to the other side, though? Ah, I don't want any pollution. I want to ship this stuff out of town. Here. Here's what we're going to do. I'm going to use a two-way street. I cut here, here, there. There's my incinerator. I have no idea what this is going to look like in the future. But for now, that's what it's doing. We need some water. We need water intake, so I'm going to take from the north side, and I'm going to sewage out of the south. Oh, those are my nice houses. We're going to sewage here. Way far away. And we are going to need to connect that for power. Actually, I suppose what I could do is start with a water tower early on. Like that. Just because then I don't have to run a power line way out here, and we'll figure it out. So we've got this thing that's there and taking up money, but isn't really doing anything. Alright, let's hit play. Start to see what happens. Hospital, nice in the center of town. Crematorium, right next to the hospital. No, they're going to traffic each other. You'll be on the next block over. Giant fire station. Wow, the reach. That's the problem with the one-ways in this game, is the reach of them is going to be quite poor. I mean, they can respond to crimes and things a little further away. People have figured out that the ideal distance is a parallel line that runs at a cost of 440. Gives you minimal overlap. See, this is why the internet makes me so happy. 440 on a 90-degree angle. Relatively minimal overlap. So yes, we'll have to replace some of these zones later. I actually shouldn't have zoned things. I should have just zoned a couple of things here and there, and then waited. Alright, we're getting some houses. People are moving in. People are pretty unhappy, but I don't blame them. We don't have anything useful. We don't have any schools yet. There we go. School number 1. Missing some water. We are going to spend all our money and have nothing to show for it. Complaining about power over there. You have no power here. Yeah, so we'll end up running power out there. So we really didn't need the water tower at all, because we'll end up running power all the way regardless. Ta-da! Got lots of electricity. We'll start using it pretty quickly. We're losing... Oh my god, we're losing so much more than I thought. Overspent probably on wind turbine. Well, it's all the services. It's everything. I shouldn't have put down anything. Oh, noes. How's that for power? Still? There we go. It'll fill up pretty quick. I'm going to turn off fire station, police headquarters, hospital. We don't need it quite yet. And it'll kill the bleed. So how's our budget looking now? Oops. Spending most of it on garbage processing. We don't really have garbage yet, so you know what? Maybe we should turn this off too. A look at the poop. Actually, let's take a look at how the water is flowing. Not much water flow, but I'm actually concerned that... Oh my god, it's flowing in exactly the opposite way that I would hope. So I think there's always a little water flow even with the sea. Meanwhile, people are moving in. Our deficit is going away. We're not going to go bankrupt, so we should be fine. We just have to wait for a few more people to come in. Alright. I mean, the city is functional, which makes me kind of happy. This is probably too early for the cargo train, but I don't know. First cargo train has come in. Oh, they might be servicing the commercial areas. In fact, that's exactly what's happening, which is going to be nice. So they're going to make their turn here. And the problem is, it takes a long time to drain the traffic. Everything's going to come in through here, and then... Like, I keep talking about, like, kind of drains, because that's how I visualize a lot of this stuff. We'll see. Wow, alright. Already we got some crime. So, that means we'll also get some fires very early, so we got to turn that on. We still have enough money in the bank. Hopefully we can run the hospital at the same time. But we clearly have to have everything turned on. Yeah, technically has no coverage over there. Good God. The one-ways make it hard for the coverage to spread the way we want. Power. Power is out, so we've got to turn one of these on again. Water? Way sufficient. In fact, I can kill the water budget. Yeah, we already have some fire. So they will respond over there. I complained about sewage for a tick, but they're actually okay. Oh, I think it's probably just a power limit. Electricity is good now. That's good. You aren't actually being reached by water, so we'll go ahead and get that going. 440. I won't build the rest, but that'll do. So it'll be really interesting to see if pre-building this much actually works. Oh, you know what I never did? Actually zone the industrial over here. Nor did I set it as a farming area, which is done by doing that. So... I don't actually see the region. Okay, it does go all the way up there. Good. Because I don't want to accidentally zone something like real industrial. Only want fake industry. And let me go ahead and make a connection over here. Two-way is going to be fine. Alright, they're coming in real quick. They're going to want some water and power. For 40. Come down there, and looks like we need to extend this out down to here. So that's the water. We also need some power lines. So I'll run from here so that we disrupt the town the least. So yeah, it's very likely that I overbuilt, and we might go a little bankrupt. We'll see how it goes. Alright, why is the sewage treatment less than the water? Oh, because we do have the water pump, that's true. So already there's enough demand. Let's bring it up to like 80%. Okay, now there's more than enough. Power? Getting low. Let's turn another one on. Garbage. Turn you on, which will actually give us a little bit more power as well. Now we've got 20,000 tons of garbage out there, which is now going to get picked up by our garbage trucks. Which are all leaving. Ambulances, garbage pile up over here. People are moving into town, slowly but surely. So the question is, are we going to be able to have enough people move in to all our crazy amounts of zoning before we go bankrupt? I don't know. I think we probably... I don't know.